Hey guys, today I'm going to talk two main parts of this video. One is I'm going to show you how I go over my own replays when I want to improve, because going over replays I think is one of, if not the best way to improve once you reach a certain level, which is like a very reachable level. I'm going to show you how I go over my replays personally and how I identify ways to improve. And the second is I'll just talk about some Ed stuff in relation to maybe some stuff about this matchup or just about Ed in general. Just some, small things with how I approach the character. So anyways, we'll get into it. This was a tournament grand final, just an online tournament, just like a fun tournament, nothing on the line or anything like that. But yeah, this was the second game. Alright, so we'll just go back here. You'll notice one thing about this matchup is you can't really throw fireballs at Balrog, right? That's one of the reasons Balrog is so good against Guile in Season 2. And still, it's not so bad compared to, 90% of Guile's matchups, Balrog does well against Guile. This is one of the main reasons, right? So it's hard to throw fireballs, but you'll see I throw one here anyway. And that is because you will see he's going to turn here, like V-Skill's turn. And when he does that, I know that I don't have to be worried about it anymore because he's not going to twirl twice in a row. And I'm not sure it would even work, to be honest. So I throw a fireball, and as you can see, it really works out here because it has a big ass hurt box, and he's unable to press something in time to kind of contest it. And yeah, so that's the opening right there. That was the idea. Hits me here. As you can see, a lot of the time when Balrog knocks you down, you can really see, I don't know how to explain it, but you can really see that if he dashes up, he's not going to be plus. And I see here that I know just by looking at it that he's not plus after this dash at all. Like plus enough to do anything anyway. So I did a little jab combo which worked, but here's one of the things I need to look at when I look at replays to improve. This was a pretty shit punish, to be honest. It could have been a lot better. I did crouch jab. First of all, I crouch jab a lot in this combo here, and I don't know why I do it, because I don't know. It pushes them back further for combos. Like this combo worked fine, but what I could have done instead is this light kick, stand jab, and then Psycho Rising, 2 kicks into, yeah, a better combo, more damage, more corner carry, probably more stun, I imagine, for sure. Get a setup after it, get a knockdown, but I did this shitty little combo instead for some reason. So that's one thing I will be really trying to improve on. Yep, go for the delayed frame trap there. Okay, there's somewhat of a trap when you look at your replays here. Like people will focus on things like this a lot. Like here I do this. This is a big mistake. This is a really big mistake. But at the same time, I don't need to put a lot of thought into correcting it, because the simple answer is I wasn't supposed to do upper there. I was supposed to do hands, cancel into hands, but I accidentally messed up my hands input and I got an upper. And all you need to take from a situation like that, even though it's big impact and it seems like it's really important, all you need to do is say, I need to get better execution, because that's the only thing. You don't really need to dwell on something like that so much. It's just get better execution. And, that's getting better execution is the easiest way to improve, in the sense that it's just a grind, right? You just grind it out. It's not like you don't have to really think about it. It's not a mind game. It's not, a deep concept. You just go in training mode, you do it 100 times, and you hopefully get better at it, right? So yeah, big mistake there. Get knocked down. Oh, catches my backdash here. Now, at first, This will be important for later. On this, I thought that he was just doing, he pushes himself out of range here. He's just doing an EX dash punch to, close some distance, B plus. So what? You know what I mean. That's what I thought after I got hit by this. So he's like, oh yeah, he's just closing distance. He caught my backdash, but it was incidental that he did that. But as the game goes on, I start to think a bit differently about it. And maybe it was incidental, but I think there's a lot of evidence to support that it's not incidental, which is important to take note of. But I'll talk about that more as this goes on. Although I think it was a lot more prominent in other games from the sets we played. All right. I do want to talk about this a lot as well. One thing I've learned from watching better players than myself, such as like people like Dominion, who I really do think is the best Ed player in the world right now. You've kind of got to use your V skill, like fully charged V skill a lot. It's really unsafe in the sense that it has massive startup and massive recovery, but you've just got to do it sometimes. You've got to learn how to use this move. I think it's really important. Every good Ed player I see, all of them use this move a lot. Like Diablo Doc, Dominion, Little Evil, people like that. People abuse this move. And more power to them, because while it is easily punishable and reactable and all that stuff, if people aren't defending themselves or punishing it, you need to use it. And +3 is really good, as well as if it hits, you get a big combo. So I think this move, I'm not saying spam it, because you will get owned if you spam this move. You will just get owned, but I think everyone should find a place for this move in their game plan. It is very important to the character, I think. Oh, gets me in the air tear. Okay, let's talk about this here. This is something I really need to think about, right? I get hit here, no counter hit, as you can see, and the reason is because I stood up. What happened here is I saw him twirl, and I immediately thought overhead, right? Because he did the twirl, so I stood up, preemptively blocking. That was my mistake, because the overhead is somewhat reactable, but the low is definitely not reactable. You cannot react to that low. So I think the best idea, well, you want to block low and look for the overhead, react to the overhead. Ideally, that is what you want to do against Balrog. Just because the low is unreactable, the overhead a bit more reactable. But another thing you can do is the low and the overhead aren't the same speed. So if you have good timing, you can option select this block. You block for the time that the low is going to come out, the first 4 frames. And then when the first 4 frames don't hit, you kind of block high. And it's kind of an option select to protect you from getting overhead and load. I don't know if it's exactly works like that. I haven't practiced it or looked into the frame data of it. But in my head, it makes sense that that would work, right? So I need to look into this and find out if I can do that. And then I need to practice it. I set it up in training mode, stuff like that. So that's one area right there. I'll get hit by this a lot. I'll do this a lot where I just preemptively go for the overhead block. And in pretty much every overhead in this game, you never want to preemptively block an overhead. You want to react because they're basically all reactable. So anyways, I get hit there. Block that. Here we go. Okay, Balrog's overhead. I'll talk about this real quick. Balrog's overhead is -6, but you can't punish it with 6 frames, usually. While it is -6, because he hit me on the knockdown here, it is meaty. So it is still minus, but see how the hit stun is over here? That's because it didn't hit me at its startup, its first active frame. It hit me at a later active frame down here. So that means it's probably, I'd say it's -4 or 5, something like that. And I always go for 6-frame punishes on this move, just reactively, because it makes sense in your head. Oh, overheads are -6, blah, blah, blah. But that's a mistake. I need to practice punishing it with jab combos. The best punish you could do here is probably like a jab into rising, or jab into hands into super. Maybe 2 jabs into hands into super, or 2 jabs into rising. I need to practice that, and I need to get it in my head that that's the answer, and not going for these 6-frame punishes that always get blocked. Alright, luckily for me, I got that combo off. Going for the block pressure. This again, I'll talk about this real quick. This was just a execution error. It might be a bit hard to understand what I was even going for here. It looks like I'm just trying to jab him out, but I wasn't. So I do this, right? I walk forward, jab, get a counter hit, jab again, counter hit, and then I do that. What I was going for is, let's get back up to it. Jab here. I did see jab into fireball combos on hit. What I was trying to do is jab here, cancelled into fireball, and then I would have finished him off with the V-trigger combo. But my execution was off because I walked forward, and I did a walk forward and jab, and the fireball input is also a forward. It's kind of a weird combo. It's kind of weird to do, and it's a combo you need to practice, not because it's particularly hard, but just because it's very different to a normal combo in how it operates. And yeah, the second jab wasn't even another check. The second jab, that was my button for the fireball, right? So that messed up. And then when I saw that messed up, I'm like, oh, I'll just do hands, I'll just do hands. I feel like I should have considered in that situation, in this situation in general. Yeah, I think I get hit here. I feel like I should have gone for the super chip. As we can see, if we go back here, I should have gone for the super chip here. He could have easily V-reversaled it. But the thing is, sometimes Ed's super, because it has such a big startup, sometimes it just goes through V-reversals. But even if he had V-reversaled it successfully, he wouldn't have been able to get V-trigger for this round. And without V-trigger, it makes it a lot harder for him to make a comeback against this health. Because this is like, Balrog's going to need a good few hits to do this, right? He's not going to get this off one whiff punish, really. Maybe. It depends how big it is. But with V-trigger, all of a sudden, all he needs to do is touch me once and I'm dead from this situation. And I think that spending the super can be worth it. Maybe not. It is first round. Neither of us have a round, so this is like kind of like a debatable point here. Maybe it's not a good idea to super in this situation, despite what I've said about it, because you could lose all your bar and still lose the round. And yeah, but it's something to think about at least. Yep, here we go. Gets the comeback on me. Doesn't kill me. So even with the V-trigger, just not enough to get the kill on me. Oh, and this was just a stupid idea. Never do stuff like this. I see a lot of Ed players do stuff like this. And it appears that I'm no exception. I'm just like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, right? This clutch situation, both one hit from death. Very, very close. I have super, so I can chip him out just by touching him. He cannot V-reversal it. And I do this. For some reason, I do this. And I put myself, not only do I put myself in the corner, but I'm right in his face. And I am -2 on top of that. I go for the throw just to protect myself, and I deservedly die because of my stupid mistakes. So, don't do stuff like that. That's a big lesson. Good anti-air there. Okay. I'll talk about this a bit. This is a thing I don't really see. I don't see any Ed players doing stuff like this, and I think that it's important. Um, what's Ed's main, one of his main primary weaknesses is that he does not have whiff punishes that do damage. Sometimes he'll hit you with a normal, like you'll whiff, he'll hit you with like a crouch medium punch, you'll take like 60, 70 damage, whatever. The game goes on. I think it's important to be able to whiff punish with super off of normals like this. Because there was no other punish here that could have done anywhere close to this. He whiffs here, right? What can Ed do? What else could Ed do here to get high damage? And the answer is nothing. Doing crouch medium kick here, firstly it wouldn't whiff punish this because it would kind of go under it. Maybe it could clip him here, but even if it did, it's not a range where it's gonna combo off anything, right? Medium punch into anything, including hands, is not going to whiff punish this. The biggest whiff punish you can get off this is just like a single normal, right? So I go for medium punch because medium punch, while 6 frames is like an average speed for a button, it has a very good hitbox and it has very fast recovery. So I whiff punish with this crouch medium punch. And what I was doing, this might look like a buffer, like I just press medium punch and buffer and like, oh, if it whiffs, like it doesn't come out. But this is a part buffer and big part of it is a reaction because if you have good execution, you can just buffer and you'll be fine. But because my execution is really shit, um, crouch medium punch is a very fast recovery button, so I'm not very good at reliably buffering super into it. If I try, sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes I'll do the medium punch and then the super will come out after and I'll just do a big whiff super. So what I do to make up for this, instead of being a smart guy and just practicing my execution, what I do is I do the medium punch and I buffer the double quarter circle forward. And if I see the hit on the screen, I'll press the punch button to get the super. So that's exactly what happened here. He whiffed, I pressed my medium punch, I saw that it hit, I pressed punch and cancelled into super. And this was important, I think, because I have full bar, right? By doing this, I get big damage off a situation I'd normally get basically no damage off of. I spent my meter to get a big life lead in this last round, which is important. I have all the rest of the round to gain the meter back. And yeah, I've put myself in a lot better situation. And I've allowed myself to once again start building meter. Because one thing with having full super is, once you've got full super, you're not building any more meter. So anytime you get hit or you get hits with or block anything, all that stuff, when that happens and you have full super, you're not building any resources. I mean, if you're blocking, you're building V trigger, but you know what I mean. You're not building resources. So it's good to try and unload it in situations like this. The only time you really want to save super or meter is if you're looking for the super kill. If you're like getting close to the kill and you want to bring it to a point where you know that with super you can get the kill. But this is so early in the round that, I'm not going to save it for the whole game. I wanted to get it out there so I can start building meter back, get the life lead so I can play defensively in the way I want to play. And yeah, as you can see, whiff right into super. Gives me decent damage. Doesn't give me a setup, but gives me the life lead. Puts me back in the game. And now I can go back to building meter. I think this was another time where I got caught backdashing. I choose to backdash here, I think. Let's find out. Yep, I was going for a backdash here. And yet again, he's caught me trying to backdash with a dash punch. And then this is where I start to think, I'm like, man, maybe he is trying to catch backdashes and this isn't incidentally happening. I really started to become conscious. I still backdashed a lot and it still kept happening, but I really started to become conscious of the fact that backdashes were being predicted, and I needed to stop relying on it as much. Oh, again, tried to block high. I did press a button, but I tried to block high. It didn't work out. Okay, let's talk about this, all right? This is not so much about replays or ed, but this is something I think is important. A good example of something that's important when you're watching other people play games, it's really important that you try not to misattribute what happens in situations. You need to really think about what a certain situation means, because I'll just go into the examples because I sound like a retard right now trying to explain this. It probably doesn't make any sense, but okay. Okay, here, he's gonna jump. I'm gonna do nothing, and then I'm gonna do a really late rising, and it's gonna hit him. See, I do nothing, then I do rising here, and it punishes him. Now, to someone watching this, it would look like this. It would look like he jumps, I do a really late anti-air. It looks like the rising is supposed to be an anti-air, and I just did a really late anti-air because my reactions suck, which they do, but and then he gets hit by it, like, oh, he did a really late anti-air, he just hesitated on the anti-air, and then he accidentally got the hit. That's not what happened. Um, what happened was, he jumped here, I missed the anti-air, and I'm thinking, man, I'm a dumbass. I should have anti-aired that. Anyways, I expect him to press a button here, uh, but he hesitates with his button because I think he expected the jump in to hit me, and I expected the jump in to hit me as well. So what I did was I did V reversal, but because he pressed nothing and I'm pressing 3 kicks, this is what came out instead. So the reason that this rising happened was not because I did a late anti-air, but it was because I tried to V-reversal in a situation where I wasn't actually in block stun, because I was expecting to be in block stun. And it's important you don't have to work out exactly why something happens, but if you see a weird situation like this, you shouldn't automatically assume it's a certain way and just put no more thought into it, because this is information here. If the ed player was another player and I was watching this, I would be thinking, with that logic, oh, he's got really late anti-air reactions, but sometimes he still goes for them. But the real information in this situation is that, oh, he was going to V-reversal in this situation. And then you use that information, obviously, to better build a profile of the person you're fighting. So it's important that you don't just be quick to jump the gun and assume why something happens in the game. You have to really, think about if it's possible that it was for other reasons. That is, if you're trying to build up an idea of why things happen or expect what you expect people to do. Oh, get caught by the jab there. Went for a bit too late of a frame trap. It happens. I was just expecting it to be caught low again, as usual, while I was pressing a button. This I just he was pressing a lot of stuff. I just felt like, yeah, this is gonna work, and it did. And also, another reason I did this DP, I have V-trigger here. And when you have V-trigger, you get a nice little setup with Ed. Double dash, and yep, standing heavy kick. He blocked it, but this is very good because if they do a wake up throw, you're gonna hop over it and it's gonna hit them, and then you V-trigger cancel and you get a full combo. But if they do a delayed tech, not only are you gonna hit them, but they're also going to get crush counted, and you get an even bigger combo off of this, right? And you're always safe. Like, this is normally -4, but V-trigger cancel, you are safe. And you're even, I think you're on 0, or they might have buffed it in the mini patch they did. But yeah, that was that. Got the throw. Okay, this was a bad punish right here. This was round it. I should have won the round right here. But I'm just an idiot, basically. This punish, bad. That was really bad. Even I should have even just doing hands there would have finished him off. And instead I give him a chance to come back, which thankfully it worked out for me. But I would have deserved to lose that just for messing up that punish there and going for a jab tick throw or whatever I went for. Goes to the anti-air. Alright, let's talk about this. Why didn't I go for a combo off of this? This crush counter, that is. See? I hit him with this crush counter here. In theory, I could have gone for the Psycho Knuckle combo, or I could have dashed forward and done the Fireball combo, but I wasn't expecting this to crush counter here. So one thing I could do is be more aware that maybe it's going to crush counter so I can get the proper combo. But thankfully, I did the next best thing. I saw that this crush counted. Oh yeah, no, I was never going to be able to do the punch combo, sorry. When you cancel into Fireball, you do not have enough time to dash forward and do another Fireball, nor do you have enough time to do a Psycho Knuckle combo. I saw that crush counted, right? I just know, because I've played so much Ed, I know the spacing of when the Fireball juggle combo off crush counter isn't going to work. And this spacing right here, it's never going to work. So instead of wasting my meter or going for a bit of extra damage, I just took the meaty setup. As you can see, just walk forward, get a bit of a corner carry, walked into a meaty, throw him. Oop, here's another mistake I need to work on. When I do characters that I neutral jump a lot against, Balrog is one because of dash punches, and another one would be like Bison. You know, characters like that you want to neutral jump against a lot. I jump, and then I preemptively press a button to catch them on the way down. But I think that's a mistake on my part, and I think that I should be reactively pressing buttons, because that was just not even close. Not even close. And I could have potentially like knocked him out of the air there and got a bit of extra damage. So I think I need to work on that. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that. See? I pressed it way too high because I just pressed it like expecting something instead of reacting to something, and it just completely whiffed. Whereas if I had done what I said and tried to react, or even just pressed the button a bit later, I could have potentially got a full combo for big damage, and I would have brought myself right back into this round. I could have taken the life lead potentially, but instead I preemptively did something that I didn't need to preemptively do, and it's put me in this situation. Oh, no anti-air. That's another thing. As I was saying before, things that you don't need to think too much about rather. The easy answer to that was I should have anti-aired, right? I should have been expecting a jump. It was at a good range for a jump. He wasn't doing much else. Could have dashed, but yeah, I should have just anti-aired. I should have thought more about it. Again, I'm getting caught back dashing, I think. Ooh, that was lucky that I didn't get clocked there. Good anti-air by him. Get myself out of the corner, luckily. Love that move. BD setup. Yep. Well, okay, I'll talk about this real quick. EX Fireball is amazing on block, right? Amazing, amazing. Crouch Heavy Punch EX Fireball, you're like +8, something ridiculous. It's amazing. But the one thing that's not good about it is it's a free V reversal every time. But I was happy, I wanted that to happen, basically. I was like, he's getting close to having V-trigger. I don't want him to make a Balrog V-trigger comeback on me. I'm going to do EX Fireball on this wake up, and he's either going to V-reversal and not get his V-trigger, or he's going to take it, and I'm going to get like a mix-up on him. You know what I mean? So it was win-win for me, no matter the response. And he chose to V-reversal here. This really is a big blow to him, because his comeback potential has been drastically decreased here. He's going to need some crush counters if he wants to build that in time. Yeah, I was just going for the block pressure. That was a smart V reversal by him because he would have known I've already spent 1 bar. I'm not getting my V trigger this round. And he's put me in this block stun where he's super plus. He's going to shimmy me or he's going to, meaty me or do a delayed frame trap. So he was very smart here and he chose to V reversal. I'm getting hit, getting smacked around. This time I'm playing in the mindset that I have the life lead, even though I don't, and it's very close. My thought process here was just be cool, man. Don't do something stupid. I did really want to do a DP, because DP when you have V-Trigger 2 up is good damage. And he was being very aggressive. I was feeling it, but I was like, just play cool. Just don't do anything stupid. And I kept getting hit, I kept getting opened up like little by little, like right there. But I just tried to play it cool as best as I could because I thought that was the best strategy in this situation. But I did get a bit greedy, which is what I'll talk about here. Okay, over here, you'll see, oh, he's landing here. My idea in this situation was I'm going to catch him with crouch medium kick into fireball, and then I'm just going to kill him because crouch medium kick into fireball, into V trigger 2, into medium punch, upper, or, that's going to finish him off completely. So I got greedy here and went for the game-winning combo, but it was way too slow. And instead, I got counter hit here, which could have been really bad. Thankfully, Balrog, charge character, because he got cross around or cross-stunted, he did not have charge to combo off this, and he didn't have meter anyway. So it was lucky for me. Oop, got caught there. Lucky he didn't finish that combo as well. Okay. This is something I do want to talk about real quick. This is one of the worst things you can do in this game, right? I have this idea in my head at this time. My idea is I'm going to do fully charged heavy punch, and then I'm going to do V trigger to make it plus. Like I'm going to be plus and I'm going to be in his face. It's going to be great, He jumps, so I catch him out of the air here, and but then my thing whiffs, right? Because, he went flying in the air, as, is expected to happen. Anyways, instead of giving up on this idea, sometimes I think everyone gets this. This is a thing that all players get at, instead of giving up on the idea, I'm like, nah, this is a good idea. I'm gonna do it again, right? And while it did work somewhat, you know, I landed the punch and got what I wanted to an extent. I would have, obviously preferred he got hit by it, but this is a mistake. You shouldn't latch onto an idea after it fails. Um, and it's really hard not to because you really think like oh yeah, it's gonna work. Like it just, But once something fails once, it's in your opponent's head that it could happen again because that's immediately, people think situation to situation, and that was the situation that just happened. They're gonna be thinking about what just happened, and they're gonna be more often than not prepared for the same thing again because they're going to be working out, oh, what could I do better if he tries to do that again sometime in this match, right? So, and you will get wrecked by so many people if you don't give up on ideas, even if they're good ideas. Yeah, so I just really recommend not doing stuff like that. I think that was a terrible idea by me, and I need to stop doing that. This was a bit lucky here. While EX Fireball is very plus, at this range that I threw it at, oh man, I went a bit too far back. Let's just get ahead. But yeah, the upcoming EX Fireball I throw into block pressure. While EX Fireball is very plus, I don't think at this range it is as plus as it needed to be for me to be successful. See, this is very, very close. And then I dash forward. I do think I am minus here. Maybe not. what I know of the frame data, I should be minus enough here that if he did a jab, I feel like I would have gotten hit, but maybe he pressed something else. The best way to work out something like this is obviously when you have your replays, I can't do it right now, but turn on the inputs, right? And look at your opponent's inputs if you're really trying to work out something like this. Because I feel like this was a bad button choice. This is a pretty slow button, and it is very plus. I press it because it's very plus and I like it, but I feel like I should have gone for like a jab here instead, or something along those lines. Even though this worked, I feel like it has the potential to not work in a lot of situations. But anyways, that's that. Hopefully that was helpful in whatever ways. If it's helps to analyze replays or it helps for like playing Ed. Hopefully that's all cool. But yeah, thanks for watching anyway.